Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on something really quite special. It's an extraordinary and deeply personal journey. We've received this incredibly rich account from one of our listeners, actually. She's a retired teacher from Seka in Nong Khai. And her life story, well, it's just this vibrant tapestry woven with profound devotion, some really unexpected challenges, and these intriguing questions about destiny, connection, all of it. So our mission today is to really dive deep into this wealth of information she's shared. She's generously given us details of her lifelong spiritual journey within the Dhammakaya tradition, her family's experiences too, and even her own health mysteries. And she's also shared the fascinating insights and answers she's received along the way. What makes this particular deep dive so compelling, I think, is how it beautifully blends this very personal narrative with deeply committed spiritual practice. And it's all seen through the intricate lens of karma, stretching across generations. We're talking about a life profoundly dedicated to making merit, performing good deeds, accumulating that positive spiritual energy.
And the profound questions that will naturally arise when you're faced with life's greatest joys and sometimes its deepest sorrows. Okay, let's unpack this. Right, so our listener and her late husband, they embarked on this really extraordinary spiritual path together. They dedicated themselves to the Dhammakaya tradition. That's a specific school of Thai Buddhism starting way back 1986. Her husband especially became this really foundational figure in their community. He was the very first merit leader in Seka district. You can sort of think of him as a dedicated spiritual guide, right? And a community organizer, inspiring people, helping them participate in spiritual activities, temple donations. And their dedication wasn't just talk, it was relentless action. They selflessly recruited people for the temple, organized transport, even fully funded it for neighbors and friends to get to major events. And here's a detail that really stood out to me. They never claimed a single expense back from the temple for any of this. Sometimes, apparently, they personally paid for whole carloads of people, just out of their own pockets so others could attend for free. Their contributions to the temple itself were, well, extensive, deeply impactful. Buying land, participating in the annual Kathan ceremonies, those are the special robe offering events for the monks. Making offerings for casting these magnificent gold Buddha images of Luang Pu Wat Paknam, a really revered meditation master. They also contributed to building significant structures, like the International Dhammakaya Assembly Hall. They specifically sponsored one of the huge main pillars, the Saukam Pha, plus supporting the Grand Meditation Stadium, the iconic Dhammakaya Chedi, that large domed stupa at the heart of the temple, and even personally commissioning Buddha images, both for display and for internal veneration. It's a truly staggering list of generosity.
It really is. What truly stands out here is the sheer scale, yes, but also the consistency of their merit making. This wasn't, just an occasional donation here and there. It was a sustained, lifelong commitment, almost like a spiritual vocation for them. And this unwavering dedication is actually likened in the sources to historical figures like Anathapindika and Visakha. These are individuals revered in Buddhist tradition for their immense generosity to the Buddha's monastic community, the Sangha.
Right, the famous patron.
Exactly. So that level of selflessness, it didn't just profoundly impact the temple's mission, saving them huge amounts of money, undoubtedly. It also built immense spiritual momentum for the couple themselves. Accruing benefits that the tradition believes extend across, countless lifetimes, their actions really show a deep understanding of that spiritual economy of giving, and its long-term impact.
But even that level of profound devotion, it can't shield us from life's ultimate tests, can it? In 2001, a deep sorrow touched our listener's life when her beloved husband tragically passed away. Bile duct cancer. Yet his passing wasn't an end to her devotion, not at all. She continued making merit specifically for him after his death, sponsoring historical Buddha images, participating in feeding thousands of monks. I mean, the numbers are incredible, 3,000, then 3,500, then 2,500 monks on different occasions. And continuing with Kathan offerings, too, she really carried on that spiritual legacy they'd built together.
And this continued dedication, it seems, was profoundly impactful. The account says that upon his passing, a celestial chariot came immediately to receive him, transporting him straight to Dusitburi. Now, for those maybe less familiar, Dusitburi in this tradition is considered a high celestial realm, a place of profound peace for advanced practitioners. Specifically, he went to a special merit circle there.
A special community within that realm.
Precisely. A community of highly virtuous beings in what's described as the supply division, which indicates a place of sort of spiritual abundance and support. This rapid, direct reception. It's seen as a powerful testament to his kind heart and the immense merit he'd built up despite the physical suffering he endured from his illness. His pure intentions and all that consistent merit-making really paved the way for such a high rebirth. Now, when we look into the karma behind his bile duct cancer, the explanation given is incredibly specific. It's attributed to a combination of actions, both from past lives and his present one. So in a previous life, he was apparently a nobleman, but one with a quick temper who actually enjoyed hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Then in his more recent life, his work involved farming and gardening, which sometimes meant using pesticides.
Wow.
And these toxins, tragically, are said to have accumulated in his body, contributing to the illness he faced later.
So it shows how actions, even seemingly unrelated ones across lifetimes, can kind of converge.
Exactly. They intertwine to manifest in our physical well-being, according to this view. What's also incredibly touching, I think, is the detail that he received all the merit his devoted wife dedicated to him after his passing. His celestial mansion is described as golden, bright, beautiful, and located strategically close to where his wife's future mansion will apparently be.
Wow. So they'll be near each other again.
That's the indication. And he even received her message of love and sent a heartfelt message back. It was a clear instruction and a promise. Continue making merit fully, and we will be together again.
So if we connect this back to the bigger picture, that detailed karmic explanation gives such profound context for his suffering, doesn't it? It's not just random illness, but there's a why provided through that lens of cause and effect. And then to see how his deep spiritual practice still led to such a high rebirth, and even allows for this direct communication back to his wife. It really shows the profound interconnected nature of these experiences and the enduring power of, well, love and shared spiritual paths. Okay, so having explored her husband's journey, let's turn now to our listener's own path. Because it's been marked by equally significant health challenges. She's faced chronic leg pain, severe enough that often prevents her from sleeping, and a critical heart condition that actually required pacemaker surgery back in September 2004. In fact, during that surgery, she nearly stopped breathing. It sounds like it was a very close call, a real moment of crisis.
And the karmic roots for her own ailments are also described quite specifically. It's another vivid illustration of how past actions are believed to manifest. Her heart condition, for instance, is said to stem from a past life in an agricultural society. In that life, as someone in charge, she apparently overworked animals, causing them significant distress and exhaustion.
Oh, interesting connection.
Mm-hmm. And as for the chronic leg pain, in a distant past life, when she was a male boxer, she apparently took pleasure in injuring opponents by repeatedly kicking them, delighting in their pain.
Oof.
Yeah. So these past actions, though, from different eras, different contexts, are seen as manifesting directly in her current physical suffering. It really offers a powerful insight into the tradition's understanding of the law of karma, how actions inevitably bear consequences.
And it was during this incredibly precarious time in the hospital, life hanging in the balance with a heart condition, that something truly astonishing happened. On the very day she urgently needed that pacemaker, a medical equipment truck just arrived, delivering a pacemaker that the hospital hadn't even ordered.
Really? Just showed up.
Just showed up. Her son, who happens to be a doctor, was then able to perform the surgery immediately. No waiting list, nothing. Apparently, the medical staff even commented on how unusually easy and quick the whole process was. It was just seamless. And what's equally remarkable here is her state of mind through all of this. She explicitly says she wasn't afraid of death. Her mind stayed centered in merit, constantly bringing her consciousness to the center of her body, visualizing a clear Buddha image and the enlightened masters she revered, Luang Puat Paknam Kunyai Ajahn Luangpur. And she prayed specifically for her life to continue so she could keep going on her merit-making journey.
You know, this really raises an important question, doesn't it, about the interplay between karma, that focused spiritual practice, and, well, what looks like unexpected grace. While her past actions clearly, in this view, led to her physical ailments, her unwavering inner calm, her profound spiritual focus during that critical moment, it seemed to align perfectly with the, you might say, miraculous delivery of that life-saving equipment.
Like her state of mind created an opening.
It certainly underscores the incredible power of one's state of mind, and perhaps that deep-seated merit, at a time when life hangs in the balance. It suggests that even when you're facing the consequences of past karma, that focused spiritual effort, sustained through faith and intention, might just open doors to unexpected solutions. It's a powerful example of spiritual resilience.
Now, we get to a really poignant aspect of her story, her family. Because despite her and her husband's deep faith, their immense spiritual dedication, her 7 children, who are all civil servants, they don't share their parents' devotion. Some, in fact, even actively oppose the Dhammakaya tradition. And the parents,
lovingly, made personal Buddha images for almost all of their children, hoping to connect them to this merit, But the children either didn't know about these efforts or they simply didn't approve of the tradition itself.
And the reason given for her children's differing spiritual paths is quite specific, too. It's attributed to a very weak connection in past lives to this particular special merit circle, this spiritual community.
So no history there, basically.
Very little, it seems. They simply weren't exposed to this specific spiritual knowledge from a young age in previous existences. And then in this life, as they grew up, they moved away for education, for work, losing that opportunity for the kind of crucial early spiritual guidance that often solidifies those connections. It really highlights how individual karmic connections, or the lack thereof, can manifest in spiritual inclinations, receptiveness to teachings. This also clarifies a really important aspect of making merit for others, the effectiveness of the transfer. If the recipients don't know about the merit being made for them, or worse, if they actively don't approve of the tradition where the merit comes from, they receive only minimal merit, or perhaps none at all if they actively oppose it.
Okay, so their state of mind matters.
Exactly. But, and this is crucial, the parents themselves still receive the full merit for their generous intentions and actions. The act of giving, the purity of intent, that still generates complete merit for the giver, regardless of whether the recipient accepts it or not. It's a powerful lesson in the personal benefit of selfless action, really.
Her story also includes the sorrowful passing of one of her daughters. She died from breast cancer at 49 back in 2002. This daughter didn't have children and, significantly, hadn't had a personal Buddha image made for herself. The reason given was she hadn't provided her mother with money to do so, unlike her siblings.
And the daughter's karmic story provides another striking illustration of these specific karmic outcomes. In a past life, when she was a man, she was described as promiscuous. Within this framework, that's classified as kame karma, karma from sexual misconduct. She also apparently had a short-tempered nature.
Okay.
So after her death, she was reborn as a Fumthiva, a type of earth deity, specifically a yakini, which is often translated as a female nature spirit, sometimes like an ogre or giantess. In this context, she's described as living in a poor, sort of dilapidated village of these beings, and she lacks food, lacks comfort, because she rarely made merit or offered charity in her human life.
So the form relates to the anger and the poverty, the lack of giving.
Precisely. Being a yakini is linked to her anger, and being a poor one is linked to her lack of generosity. Her mother is encouraged to continue making merit for her, to try and improve her condition, which really underscores that ongoing spiritual connection even after death.
There's also the heartbreaking story of her grandson. He died quite young, at 17, also in 2002, from just a common cold. But he had suffered from intellectual disability right from birth, unable to feed himself, speak, or control bodily functions. Just very severe challenges.
And the grandson's karmic journey is, again, equally specific and really sheds light on that suffering. After his death, the account says he wandered for 7 days before being taken by local officials to another realm and was then reborn as a human again. His intellectual disability, however, stems from past karma of consuming alcohol and also killing animals.
Serious actions.
Very serious. In fact, the source states he will be reborn with intellectual disability for hundreds of future lives because of these actions. His early death was also seen as a direct result of this karma. There is a glimmer of hope, though. He did receive some merit from the Buddha image that his grandmother had made for him. That will eventually aid his long journey. But this particular case, it really underscores the gravity of certain karmic actions and their incredibly long-term consequences across lifetimes.
Our listener's current living situation is also quite unique, isn't it? She lives alone, but with her great niece, a young woman named Jo Wow. And she receives financial support from her children, but they all live separately from her.
Yes, and this living arrangement, too, is connected back to past karma. Jo Wow, her great niece who lives with her now, she was actually her child in a previous life, a thread of connection carrying over. Furthermore, her current situation, children not living with her but sending money, mirrors her own past life karma. In that life, her children also moved away but sent financial support. And she herself was apparently accustomed to living in one place, not moving around much, so it's presented as a direct reflection. Past actions creating present circumstances, illustrating the subtle but persistent pattern of family dynamics across lives. What's truly fascinating here, I think, across all these stories is how incredibly detailed and specific the karmic accounting is presented. It links actions like anger, promiscuity, alcohol consumption, even things like pesticide use, to very precise outcomes both in this life and the next realm. And it also powerfully underscores that vital role of, open hearts and understanding for the full, effective transfer of merit.
It's not automatic.
Exactly. It's not just the action of giving, but the acceptance, the appreciation, maybe even the alignment of the recipient that truly seems to seal the karmic exchange. It adds another layer of complexity to these spiritual principles.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, we really circle back to those overarching themes, don't we? Our listener's story is just this incredible tapestry. It vividly illustrates the profound principles of karma, the immense impact of merit-making, and that intricate web of connections that seem to span lifetimes. We've seen how unwavering devotion can, potentially, create a pathway to a higher existence, how past actions might manifest in present health and circumstances, and how family bonds, even when they're challenged by different beliefs, have these deep roots in shared histories, shared karma. It's a really powerful testament to the spiritual journey.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, perhaps, this deep dive really encourages us to consider how our intentions and actions, whether they seem big or small, they aren't just isolated incidents, are they? They're threads weaving into this intricate tapestry that spans lifetimes. It invites us, maybe, to ponder the profound responsibility and indeed the opportunity we have, not just for ourselves, but for everyone connected to us, an opportunity to shape a future of, hopefully, clarity and well-being. Every choice, every act of kindness, or maybe even negligence, it truly resonates far beyond the present moment, echoing through our personal and collective spiritual journey.
Thank you so much for joining us on this truly enlightening deep dive. We hope you take some time to reflect on the stories and insights shared today. Maybe consider how these principles might resonate in your own life. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the wisdom that surrounds us.